They say some doors should never be opened. But what if the door is calling your name, whispering secrets only you can hear? Would you still resist the urge to unlock it? When Ethan's estranged father passed away, he inherited a house he hadn't set foot in for over 20 years. Their relationship had always been strained, and he had no fond memories of the place. Still, before selling it, he decided to take one last look. The house was just as he remembered. Cold, eerie, and filled with the ghosts of a past he wanted to forget. The air was thick with the scent of mildew and dust, and the wooden floor creaked beneath his every step. He wandered through the dimly lit halls, stopping at his childhood bedroom, now nothing more than a storage space filled with forgotten relics. But it was the basement that held the biggest surprise. Hidden behind a rotting wooden shelf, Ethan discovered a door he had never seen before. It was ancient, reinforced with iron, and secured with a rusted padlock. The wood was warped and scratched, as if something had desperately tried to claw its way out. Resting on the floor in front of it was a manila envelope with his name scrawled across it in shaky handwriting. Inside was a letter from his father with a single ominous warning. "For the love of God, do not open this door." His hands trembled as he held the letter, his pulse quickening. The air around him suddenly felt heavy, charged with an unsettling energy. A strange humming noise, almost imperceptible, seemed to emanate from the door itself. His curiosity warred with the growing dread in his gut. Ignoring the warning, he grabbed a pair of bolt cutters and snapped the lock open. The sound of the metal breaking echoed through the basement like a gunshot. The door creaked as he pushed it, revealing nothing, pure, impenetrable darkness. He shined his flashlight inside, but the beam seemed to vanish into the void, swallowed whole by the abyss. Then, a voice, soft, desperate, echoed from within. "Ethan, help me." His blood turned to ice. It was his father's voice, but his father was dead. The darkness shifted, almost as if it were breathing. Shadows slithered along the walls, stretching toward him. A sudden gust of cold air blasted from within, carrying a stench so foul it made his stomach churn. Something rotten, something ancient. A hand shot out from the void. Ethan barely had time to react before fingers, cold as death, grazed his arm. He stumbled backward, his breath caught in his throat. The whispering grew louder, turning into a chorus of anguished voices, pleading, crying, screaming. Faces flickered in the darkness, twisted, tortured visages of people who no longer belonged to the world of the living. Panic surged through him. He slammed the door shut and locked it, his breaths coming in ragged gasps. His hands shook as he finally opened the letter again, skimming frantically through his father's words. His stomach twisted with dread as he read. The house had been in their family for generations, and every generation had one rule: never open that door. His father had learned that lesson the hard way. When he was a child, his own brother had found it, and, despite the warnings, stepped inside. He was found the next morning, curled up in a corner, unable to speak. When he finally did, all he could say was that he had been trapped in there for what felt like an eternity, though only an hour had passed in the real world. His uncle never recovered. Whatever he had seen, whatever had happened in that darkness, it destroyed him. Years later, unable to escape the nightmares, he ended his own life. The door was sealed, forgotten, until now. Ethan dropped the letter, a chill crawling up his spine. He had opened the door. He had let something see him, something that now knew he was there. And what if it wanted out? Conclusion: if you were in Ethan's shoes, would you have ignored the warning? Let me know in the comments. And if you love eerie stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales.